They call it the Golden Bomb. It's worth its weight in gold, literally. But this is nothing like the little boy or the fat man of World War II. It's smaller, smarter, meaner. A nuclear warhead with fins, guidance software, and a switch that lets you choose how much depth to deliver. It doesn't just pummel cities into dust. It finds bunkers buried beneath mountains and command posts sealed under concrete and granite and turns them into dust without warning. This nuclear bomb is meant to decapitate enemy regimes in a single blast, no matter how deep underground their leaders try to hide. And right now, in a factory in Texas, it's being fitted onto the most silent aircraft ever built. The Golden Bomb. November 2021, Pantex Plant, Texas. A new era in nuclear deterrence began as the first B-6112 nuclear bomb rolled off the production line. This moment marked the culmination of 17 years of intensive research, development, and an investment of over $9 billion. The B-6112 was heralded as the most accurate nuclear weapon ever built. Weighing in at a substantial 825 pounds, the B-6112 was a sophisticated piece of modern nuclear technology. In 2012, the Federation of American Scientists estimated the unit cost an astonishing $28 million, a figure that exceeded its weight in gold. The eye-watering cost, combined with pushback from arms control advocates, nearly got the program scrapped by Congress. Tom Kalina, a leading voice in arms control, warned that bringing this weapon online could complicate efforts with Russia and risk inflaming an already fragile global situation. Still, the Pentagon stood firm. The older B-6111 bunker buster wasn't cutting it anymore. It missed its target by 110 to 170 meters on average. In an era where precision means everything, that kind of margin of error was no longer acceptable. To destroy heavily fortified bunkers with such imprecision often required warheads as powerful as 400 kilotons, causing massive destruction, widespread fallout, and unintended civilian casualties. The strategy was changing. Precision wasn't just a preference, it was the new standard. Boeing took on the challenge. Their redesign of the B-6112 turned what was once a free-fall gravity bomb into a guided weapon with remarkable accuracy. The new tail kit added steerable fins, spin-stabilizing rockets, and inertial guidance backed by GPS. This resulted in a bomb that could glide up to 15 miles and strike within 30 meters of its target, reliably and repeatedly. In 2014, Air Force Chief Norton Schwartz broke down why that mattered. A 50-kiloton detonation from a B-6112 could leave a crater 30 to 68 meters wide. But because of its accuracy, you didn't need as much destructive power to get the job done. The same effects could be achieved with lower yields, reducing fallout, limiting civilian harm, and aligning better with the realities of modern, politically sensitive warfare. To prove the concept, the Air Force ran 31 drop tests at Tonopah. Every single one was a success, not one failure. The design held up under scrutiny. Still, not everyone was convinced. In 2014, Congress pushed back again, slashing funding and asking for alternatives. The Pentagon's response was blunt. If they didn't modernize, key components of the bomb would start to fail by 2019. From their perspective, national security couldn't wait. The goal became to build 400 to 480 bombs, replacing B-61 4, and 7 variants, each with dial-a-yield settings, 0.3, 1.5, 10, or 50 kilotons. Critics said it lowered the nuclear threshold. The Pentagon called it readiness. As Russia and China built deeper, stronger bunkers, America's answer was in production. Accuracy over annihilation. Stealth delivery. A bomb that precise needs a delivery system just as stealthy. The B-2 Spirit was the only aircraft that could do it, able to sneak past the world's best air defenses without a whisper. In 2018, Sandia National Labs engineers arrived at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, home of the 509th Bomb Wing, the same unit that dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, they were integrating the B-6112 into America's most secretive bomber. It wasn't simple. The B-2 already carried 3 nuclear types, but the B-6112's new tail kit changed everything. Fitting it meant cutting into the bomber's internal frame. A small mistake could ruin the radar signature and turn a $2.2 billion ghost into a target. Even worse, a miscalculation could mean the blast of the nuclear warhead reached the B-2 and its crew. The 72nd Test and Evaluation Squadron was in charge of making sure that didn't happen. They ran separation tests from 40,000 feet, capturing every frame with high-speed cameras. If a bomb failed to drop cleanly, the crew had seconds before it detonated in the bay. Then came the hard part. Ensuring the enemy couldn't intercept the weapon's navigational technology wasn't mid-drop. Those capabilities are not implausible for Chinese or Russian electronic warfare systems. This means the guided nuke could be hijacked seconds after detonation. In July 2022, engineers solved the issue using the B-2's onboard radar, the AN/APQ-181, which would take over. They created the RATS, or Radar-Assisted Targeting Software, to feed targeting data directly to the bomb, even if its embedded system became jammed. During tests over Nevada, with GPS blocked, the B-2 scored a direct hit using the B-2's radar alone. Integration tested every limit. Load crews drilled in chemical suits under 115-degree heat for 8 minutes at a time to avoid heat stroke. Technicians worked with surgical precision to protect the bomber's radar-absorbing skin. One nick, and the enemy could see it from hundreds of miles away. By November 2024, their work had finally paid off. One line in the NNSA's annual report changed everything. B-2 Spirit certified for B-6112 operations. All 20 bombers are now armed with precision nukes. Nuclear umbrella. Even as the B-2 was being adapted, the US and NATO were turning the B-6112 into their new nuclear deterrent workhorse. By October 2022, 8 months into Russia's invasion of Ukraine, state TV aired nuclear strike simulations in European capitals. Within 72 hours, the Pentagon responded. Accelerate B-6112 deployment to Europe. Under cover of night, C-17s landed at 6 bases: Kleinbrogel in Belgium, Bochel in Germany, Aviano and Gedi in Italy, Volkel in the Netherlands, and Incirlik in Turkey. Each had fortified WS-3 vaults and nuclear bunkers monitored 24/7. 150 B-61 bombs were already there. The new models joined them. In Moscow, Deputy Foreign Minister Alexander Grushko went on record, quote, "The Americans are lowering the nuclear threshold. Precision makes these weapons more tempting. They're setting up a hair trigger in Europe." NATO saw it differently. Russia's Iskander missiles could hit Berlin in 8 minutes. NATO needed bombs on the ground, not bombers hours away. So the race began. In October 2023, the F-35A became the first stealth fighter certified for nuclear duty. At Aviano, the 31st Fighter Wing ran drills. Pilots learned to arm and guide the B-6112 from the cockpit. Every NATO F-35 would need that ability. Old aircraft weren't left out. German Tornado crews at Bochel ran Cold War-era strike procedures. Italians did the same at Gedi. The jets were aging, some relics of the Gulf War, but still nuclear capable. Until more F-35s arrived, they were NATO's backbone. By January 2024, the Dutch announced their F-35s were nuclear certified. Dutch pilots could now deliver US weapons. The message was clear: strike one of us, and all of us will answer. Peace activists protested outside air bases. Russian spies logged every shipment. Inside WS-3 vaults, US and European crews worked side by side, maintaining bombs that could vaporize cities in milliseconds. The Pentagon's public statement was terse, quote, "The B-6112 provides options against harder and large-area military targets." Weapons of precise destruction. However, the US military has not crossed its arms after the deployment of the B-6112. As far back as October 2023, the Pentagon dropped a bigger bomb. The B-6113 was coming. It's not just an upgrade, but a completely new design. A whopping 340 kilotons, 7 times more powerful than the B-6112, a direct signal to Moscow and Beijing. It blindsided arms control advocates. The B-6112 was supposed to be the endpoint, a cleaner bomb for more restrained warfare. Whiteman's B-2s had just finished certification. Then, in December 2024, the final B-6112 rolled off the line. Pantex shifted all of its focus to building its bigger brother immediately. The reason for the escalation was simple. Russia and China were digging in. Satellite images revealed the construction of massive command centers below Kazvinsky Mountain, protected by over 1,000 feet of granite. Meanwhile, China's underground Great Wall, which was made up of 3,000 miles of tunnels hiding ICBMs, was being extended day by day. Even the precise B-6112 couldn't guarantee results. The B-6113 came together fast, and for a reason. Dubbed the Smarter Bunker Buster, it merges high precision with serious explosive power, designed to take on hardened targets without unleashing widespread destruction. Some critics have waved it off as a political move, but the speed of its development and the small production run suggest otherwise. This wasn't about optics, it was about solving a pressing problem. Its main launch platform, the B-21 Raider, the US military's newest stealth bomber, is still largely cloaked in secrecy. Together, the B-21 and B-6113 form a formidable pair, an undetectable aircraft delivering a 360-kiloton warhead with pinpoint accuracy. Suddenly, even the deepest, most secure underground bunkers are no longer out of reach. Officially, the Pentagon talks about targeting large, hardened military installations. Unofficially, the implications are far more pointed. These weapons are built for decapitation strikes aimed at enemy leadership and command centers. It's a dramatic shift in how nuclear force is wielded, not just as a blunt instrument, but as a precise surgical tool.